ESPN has ranked the top 50 players in the college football playoff. 50 all the way down to 1. And you're talking about Mikhail Kamara, the defensive lineman?
Yes, thank you. Couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, he is really stinking good. He comes in on this list as the 21st best player in the college football playoff of the 12 teams that are there. In this, I think that there's a few things to extrapolate here. The Oregon Ducks lead the way with 6 players in the top 50 of the college football playoff, according to ESPN.
I bet you I could name them.
Go ahead and try, because there's 2 guys that I'm surprised are not on this list.
Dylan Gabriel.
He is on the list.
You're going to throw Tez Johnson in there.
He is on the list.
You're going to throw Jordan Birch.
He is not on the list.
Wow. So then you're going to throw Mateo Uyungale on the list.
He is on the list.
You are going to throw in, I would throw in Muhammad.
He's not on the list.
Wow. So then you're going to throw in Connerly.
Connerly is there.
Because he was an All-American.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to throw in Derek Harmon?
Derek Harmon.
So I've got 5, and I've got 1 more. Are you going to throw in Jordan James?
He is on the list.
Bam. I knew I could do it, and with 2 misses.
Jordan James comes in at 37th. Mateo Uyunglele is 36th. Josh Connerly, an All-American, 34th. Tez Johnson, 15. Derek Harmon, and I love this. He is put in here as the 14th best player in the college football playoff. I think he is the most undervalued player in the Big Ten, especially, not being on the coach's first team all-conference. Mind-blowing to me.
Yep.
He is so damn good, but the conference has 18 teams, really good defensive linemen, including Mason Graham. It's hard. It's tough to get on that first team, and we should get used to really damn good players not being on there. But Derek Harmon comes in at 14th, and Dylan Gabriel is number 2 on the list of best players in the college football playoff. The top 5 are Ashton Jeanty, Boise State running back, number 1. Dylan Gabriel is number 2. Cam Skattebo, the running back of Arizona State, is number 3. Tyler Warren, Penn State's star tight end, is number 4. And Texas offensive lineman and Outland Trophy winner Kelvin Banks Jr.
That guy's good.
Is number 5. Abdul Carter nipping on his heels at number 6. So what's interesting, Oregon does get the most players of any team in the playoff on this list of top 50 with 6 of them. I do think Jordan Birch and Jabbar Muhammad are 2 guys that I was like, wow, that's interesting. They're not considered in the top 50 here. You get it, though.
More so with Muhammad. I think Birch, if he doesn't miss those 3 games, I think he's on the list. But then that probably takes Uyungale off the list.
That sure does. And you're talking about the top 50. What I found fascinating in this is the list of the top 50 players. The Ducks' opponent in the Rose Bowl, potentially, Ohio State, they also have 6. They are tied for the top 2 of the most talented players in the college football playoff. Each of them getting 6 on the list.
The media loves Ohio State, though, so that doesn't surprise me. On paper, they should be maybe not by far and away, but on paper, or at least with what the media gives them, they should be the team that's undefeated.
They are, I think they're the most talented team in college football.
I have an issue.
They have 2 losses.
See, but that's the thing. If as talented as you, I have an issue with that because how many times do we look at what you were rated at in high school, and then instantly it's a big, that's a big get. Like the one to me, Malachi Nelson. Malachi Nelson was a 5-star quarterback. According to some rankings, he was the number 1 player in his class. He went to USC. He was there a year. He didn't earn the starting job. Yeah. He left. Yeah. He goes to Boise State. Boise State, look at us. We got a 5-star. He's there for a year. He doesn't get the job.
I don't think they're talented for that reason, though. I look at Jeremiah Smith, who was a 5-star freshman.
For sure.
Really good.
He's
Caleb Downs, who came from Alabama.
Right.
Look at their front 7. Their defensive line is really damn good. The one spot that they have their weakness is depth on the offensive line, and their quarterback is not a top line quarterback. But nobody is saying Will Howard is. But the sum of all of their other pieces are really damn good. Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins have both done it on the field. Like, we've seen them both do it and shine and be 2 of the best running backs in college football. for Judkins, it was at Ole Miss. For Henderson, it's been at Ohio State. He has been really stinking good. Emeka Ogbuka, if that's your second or third best receiver in your receiving core, yeah, you're really damn good. Like, I think Denzel Ward or Burke at corner, he's really good. Oregon was like, we got good guys too. We're going to try to go over the top on him. And they got him a couple of times. But that doesn't mean he's not a great player that we've seen. That's why I'd say they are so talented. JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer. Did they get put in check when they played against Oregon? Absolutely. Have we seen them play outstanding football over their body of work? Yeah. Have we seen them do it against Michigan? Yeah, we have.
Right.
Too,
but,
right?
But here's not.
And that's the collection of talent is so good. Are they poorly coached at times? Uh-huh. Is it head-scratching to see what Chip Kelly's play calling is at times? Absolutely. But that doesn't diminish the level of talent on their roster. It is really good.
Well, and maybe the Malachi Nelson comparison is poor for some of the Ohio State players. But I think that there was a propping up of Will Howard. I would make the argument Will Howard looked better at Kansas State.
He absolutely did.
What they ask him to do isn't fair to what he is.
And that's not the player, that's the coaching, right?
And that's fair, right? That's fair. The other issue I have is with the O-line. Now, they are missing their starting center. And there was
left tackle.
Well, they're on their third string left tackle. They're playing their left guard at left tackle. That's a problem, right? And when they go up against a premier pass rush, they're going to have an issue.
And that's where they've always had
they're going to have an
their
issue
weakness
with
was depth.
Tennessee's D-line is nasty.
No doubt about it.
But here's my issue with that. Like the hyping up of their center McLaughlin before he went out. He got ran out of Alabama. He was fine at Alabama.
He won the Remington Award.
He did this year. But he got ran out of Alabama.
Yeah, because he bad snaps in the Rose Bowl last year.
That top tier All-American left tackle, when he ran into a premier pass rush, he struggled.
Yep.
So maybe I'm more leaning on the coaching than necessarily the pure talent. I just think as a whole in all of sports, but really in college football and in the NFL as well, there is an issue of, well, look at him athletically. Athletically, he's a freak. Athletically, this player can do X,
I didn't say
Y,
Ohio
and
State's
Z.
the best team. I said they're the most talented roster. And there's a big difference there. There's a big difference there.
And I might make the argument that I think they're more talented teams.
Who?
I think Oregon's got more talent in certain spots. I think
in certain spots.
I think
that I 100
spot,
in the most important position. Absolutely, it's quarterback.
Yeah.
And that makes them a better team, right? And
right. So
I think Oregon
make
is
them a better team on paper.
I think Oregon is better coached as well.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's not what I'm saying though. I'm saying that top to bottom, the talent across the roster at Ohio State is insane. And Oregon is really close. Texas is really close. But you're talking about multiple All-Americans by coaches and media.
Yeah.
Across every level offensively and defensively. They're damn talented. But that doesn't mean they're the best team. I think they're not the best team because the most important position, they have a deficiency, and they fall apart in crucial moments and situations.
And they have a weak O-line. And
they do, especially right now.
If they get through Tennessee, they have to go through Oregon, who I don't as high as I am on Oregon, Tennessee might have a better defensive line.
Yep.
And they're without their best defensive lineman. Well, best front seven player in Peely. Like he's gone. So I think Ohio State's they're in for trouble, man.
It's going to be a fun game though when Tennessee, because the elements will play a factor. Knoxville does get cold. It doesn't get 30 degrees, and it will. I think the one thing that both teams can benefit from though is that both teams run the ball effectively, and it's going to force Chip Kelly to be more creative in his run game. Because I think there's times where Ohio State gets into this, we have all these weapons, we have all these tools on the outside, we've got to use them, and they're dangerous, and they are cheat codes.
They're so good.
But it's also, we know Chip Kelly can be creative in the run game, and you just haven't seen it. I think it's a product of your offensive line being banged up, and having your left guard bump out to left tackle, having two of your starters of your five in a position group that you knew wasn't deep to begin with go down. There's a lot of issues that Ohio State's going to be working through, and they're going to be emphasized against Tennessee.
They ran the ball at under 3 yards a carry, I believe, against Michigan.
that game
And it was a
was
poor game plan.
Michigan has been used to been playing one-handed, right? They know they can't throw the ball offensively. Their defense has adjusted and adapted to, we're going to be out on the field a lot.
We have to play with our hair on fire.
And we have to play a certain style of game. Ohio State got into that game where, like, wait a minute, we're not comfortable playing with one hand tied behind our back, and we don't know how to do this. And it showed. It looked uncomfortable for Ohio State.
The biggest issue has been that O-line and that running attack. And that's maybe why I'm jumping on the running backs a little bit more than maybe you think I should be. Because, and I know it works together, but since they've started having those injuries, those two running backs, right now they're rushing for less than 3 yards a carry.
Yeah,
since
it's
the big
fallen
injuries.
off, man.
And I understand that that's an O-line issue. It's also a running back issue. Because they're like, if you're as good as you like claim to be, make a man miss. Run through an arm tackle. And I get it. It's hard to run through a Graham arm tackle. I understand. I understand.
They ran through Indiana's defense pretty easily.
They did. But they didn't run through Michigan's.
Nope. And that's an elite defense.
You take away a big run. You take one big run away from them, and they didn't run through Oregon's. And that's an Oregon defense that Penn State's O-line did incredibly well against, especially on the inside run game.
Dan Lanning will tell you, you can't take that one run away. You can't do it.
You can't.
You can't do it.
But I can for my argument
You're
because
damn
it
right
fits
you
my
can.
argument better.
You're damn right you can.
The run game has to improve. And if it doesn't
No
improve, this Ohio State team is dead in the water, no matter what people say about how talented that roster is.
Faux show.